Got my quarantine hair going on today.
So do I.
Looking good,
Yes.
Meltdown.
Thank you.
Yes.
What's
right,
up,
I'm going to go do radio things. You stay in here.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. I guess I'm all by myself now. Hey, guys, thanks for checking out the Instagram here. The old gram. I just got a call from the record company. Said that just reading some of your text messages here. John's going to check in with us here in just a couple minutes. Hey, Jenny. What's going on? Anyways, I'm Meltdown. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you don't follow me on Instagram, WRIF Meltdown, if you get a chance to follow us there, as I just have to keep an eye out on this thing to check in when John joins us here. So, waving everybody, appreciate that. My Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast was kicking ass this week. David Coverdale was on last Friday. I've had Sully Erna from Godsmack on. Let's see, Michael from Volbeat was on as well this week. You can check that out. Like I said, all the information's at WRIF.com. So, and that's about it. So just waiting for John. And by the way, before John gets on here, last time I had Tyler on from Theory of a Dead Man, and I did mention how Tyler was going to have the perfect pompadour hairdo going on. Then, of course, he gets on there, and he's got his hat on. And he actually tried cutting his own hair, which was pretty funny if you get a chance to watch the video of that from last week. But John from Skillet is just one of the nicest guys in this business. The whole band is so nice. His wife, Corey, and that, just can't say enough good things about how cool they are. So just looking forward to talking with John. I talked to them back in October when they were touring with the guys from Alter Bridge and Dirty Honey as well, and they were great. So we're just waiting here patiently. It's almost at 2 o'clock, so John should be checking in any second now, and we can start talking to him. Great show. That's right, Jenny. You were there at that show with John and the guys from Skillet. That was great. Dusty and spring cleaning. Okay, there you go. Shawnee, what's happening with the wave? There it is. Okay. Midge 101, I think that's what it is with the wave. If you're just joining us, we're waiting for John from Skillet to check in here. I got to keep an eye on this thing. And hopefully, when he does check in, I won't be too short or too tall, as you got to figure out this whole thing right here. So let's see what we can get with John. Once again, like I said, my Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast is up and cranking. Yeah, Jenny, we should go live until John checks in. There you go. Let's see. Hey, John, VV, thanks, man. Thanks for the wave. Okay, it's 2 o'clock. Waiting for John Cooper to check in. Like I said, I just got a call from the record company. Said he'd be calling here any second now. So you got to get on early and get the primer going with the Skillet guys. Hello from the Netherlands. There you go. It's really cool how every time I do one of these things, people from all over the world check in. Man, I was talking to Tyler from Theory the other day, and there was somebody from Wales and Portugal and all over the place. So thank you guys for watching. And hopefully any second now, John will check in. Anyways, Friday, man. Tell you what, can't wait to get on the air, get my show cranked up, and then have the weekend rolling here. So, oh, hey, Lindsay, how are you? All right, thank you. The record company just checked in and said he is on his way. So, all right, cool. Looking forward to it. Should be any second now. Lisa Ann, there you are. Cool. Everyone's checking in here and waving. Nice. Yeah, I'll probably, if you don't get a chance to watch or listen to this whole thing, I'll, Lisa, I can't take you right now. I'm waiting for somebody else. Man, it's so funny. Anyways, yeah, I wish I could just take all of you guys here and put you all on. But anyways, I'll probably post this on my podcast coming up next week. Okay, there we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Let's see here. Oh, of course, I screwed it all up already. Let's try that. Let's see how that works. All right, there it is.
What's up?
Hey, John, how are you?
Good. Wow, that's very close to me. Let me scoot back. You didn't screw it up. We're here.
All right. You can hear me, huh?
I can hear you. I heard you say, "Oh man, I screwed it up."
No, I'm not real good with this stuff, and you know, it's but it's really cool. This you know what we're doing here. It's funny because I shaved today because I thought I hadn't shaved all week, and I thought to myself, you know, with John in there and me not shaving, that would be just too much testosterone. So you'll just be the only bearded one today. So
yeah, you don't want too much. You know what I'm saying?
Right, just enough.
you look like you've been keeping your workout going though. Your arms look huge.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, just you know, it's been well, what are you gonna do? You know. I mean, you got to do something, right?
You're either going to eat a whole lot or you're going to exercise a whole lot, or maybe both. I guess you can do both.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, so you've been keeping pretty busy doing the whole. I mean, with all the stuff that's going on, you got your podcast up and running. You've been doing videos and stuff online, quarantining. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I've heard this before. You do homeschool your kids anyway, so this is kind of not that different for what you normally do, right?
Yeah, now I need to be clear about this. I don't homeschool our kids because that's not going to happen. And my kids would not turn out to be good, smart people. But we've always homeschooled our kids because we're always on the road. So, you know, because obviously Corey plays in the band too. So in certain ways, no, they're just finishing up their school. In fact, my daughter graduates this year, but she's just finishing up her school as she always does. You know, it still has some strange effects in the fact that we're stuck at home and you're not able to like work and that, but my kids are still doing their school. And for me, I've enjoyed some of the normal things in life, like eating dinner at the table with my family. You know what I mean? It's like normal stuff. I mean, you know, going to a grocery store with a mask, but still, you know.
Yeah, you can just pull your beard up.
Yeah, my mask only goes to here, so I need to get a bigger mask, like a longer one, you know.
No, that's great. Yeah, it's like this is just such a crazy time. But I've talked about this with other bands. Like I had Tyler from Theory of a Deadman on here the other day, and guys along, you know, David Ellefson and whatnot. And it's like it's so weird. And it's like nowadays, you know, back when we were kids growing up, you know, you had to just imagine what your favorite rock stars were doing, and now they're taking you in their home and showing you what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a weird time.
It is a weird time. Yeah, I probably have said this to you before, but if I had the ability to see what Tommy Lee was doing every day, I probably never would have left my house. You know, I mean, like, what's Ozzy up to today? Find out what Ozzy and Nikki Sixx are doing, like their little, you know, like in the dirt. You know, we got Ozzy and Nikki Sixx doing their little game of snorting ants, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was ants they were snorting.
Right.
You know, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a very different time. The bad side of it, if you will, is that we missed that kind of mystery. You know, the mystery of the rock star. Like, you never know what their lives must be like. And in a certain way, it was kind of cool because it made it more rock starry.
Right.
But the cool thing about this is in a certain way, in my view, it kind of makes it more about the music. You know, it's more like it's not really about rock stardom. It's about the songs, and it's about what's behind the songs. And I think that people can get a very authentic look at that because of all this social media stuff. And I think that's a really cool, it's a trade-off. I prefer this because I like the authenticity, but you do lose a little bit of the mystery of not knowing what Nikki Sixx was up to at, you know, at noon, what he had for lunch, you know?
Yeah, well, we
and
saw
apparently
enough of
it was
Nikki
ants,
Sixx.
I don't know.
Yeah, we saw enough of Nikki Sixx in that video at the end of the 1990s, but we don't need to see any more from Nikki. I mean, that's Tommy. I'm sorry, Tommy, but yeah, that's true.
Probably true.
But yeah, but it's weird because, like, in a strange way, we're farther apart than ever, but closer than ever. Kind of strange.
Yeah, very very interesting psychological experiments for people who are into that sort of thing. I imagine there will be social science books written about this time, because it's like alone together. You know, we can see each other, but we're actually not together. And there's maybe some good parts of that it helps you psychologically realize that human beings, whether you see them or not, we're not really all that different. But then the bad side of that is that, you know, we're created to want community and to need person-to-person contact, and you become very closed off if you don't do that. So I'm sure there will be some very interesting social science stuff written about this in years to come.
Now speaking of books, I know that you like to read and whatnot. What have you been reading lately?
Oh, I love to read. Actually, this is my bookcase. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I actually built that bookcase with my own two hands.
Really?
All right? Yeah, I did. I enjoy carpentry. I'm not that good of a carpenter, but I enjoy it. But, yeah, I've been reading a ton. I read this. Actually, I got it right here. Look at this. I read this amazing book, social science, actually, called Charles Murray. The name of the book is Coming Apart.
Okay.
And it's fantastic. Social science. It's about the reason that there seems to be such a huge disparity between classes in America and stuff like that, how that has happened and how that continues to happen from a social science perspective. I enjoyed that. I read Animal Farm. I'd never read Animal Farm. It's one of those books that you either read when you're in school or you learn about it in school. So you learn so much about the book. Like, why would you read the book? It's one of those.
Right.
But I finally got to read it, and it's really awesome. It's kind of like it's warning you about the dangers of communism and stuff like that. But it's fantastic. It's kind of fun, except that there's a real darkness underneath to it that it's pretty awesome. I really enjoyed that. That was a good one.
I'm a slow reader, I should say. Sometimes I tend to veg out in front of the TV or listen to records or do whatever.
Sure.
But anyways, I'm kind of reading that book, Neil Peart, Ghost Rider, from back in the early 2000s. Did you read that one? You know what that's about?
No, I do not. Mm.
So Neil, after his wife and his daughter had both passed away, he took this like 50,000-mile motorcycle ride, and it's kind of like his journal about it. It's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So anyways, after he passed away, back in December, or I'm sorry, in January, I'd heard about that book before, but I'm like, I got to check this out because, Neil was so like well written and well spoken and everything. And it's like, he's really descriptive, and you can imagine him on his motorcycle doing all sorts of things. So if you're looking for something a little bit different.
Oh, I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah. But speaking of turntables, so I tweeted at you the other day and you responded, you were listening to Foghat or something. So,
yeah.
So have you got bit by the vinyl bug now or what?
Yeah, slow ride. I love it. Take it easy. I mean, that song is such a hit. Have you noticed that Slow Ride, like, no one knows how the rest of the song goes. It's just the chorus. And it's such a hit chorus that not only did they start the song with the chorus, they started the song with a double chorus. I mean, it goes, it's like slow ride, take it easy, slow ride. And then they add the harmony and slower. I'm like, that's when you know you have a hit chorus. Anyway, all that to say, I've always loved vinyl. And when I moved about 7 years ago, my record player got destroyed in the move. And I'd been planning on buying a new one since then, 6 years. So I just never got around to it. And so for my birthday, my wife got me a new record player. And so my drummer, Jen, got me a couple of records. And I think it's because at dinner time, because we're having dinner together. I just said earlier, right, we're all having dinner together, and my in-laws live with me too. And so I was like, hey, I'll put on some music, and I just got Foghat. I don't know why I wanted to listen to Foghat. And so Jen was laughing at me about it, so she got me Foghat, which is awesome. So yeah, vinyl just sounds good because it's got that natural distortion to it. Everything's like crammed and distorted. I love it.
Well, I really like it because you put the record on and you walk away, and it kind of, all the songs should be, at least theoretically, placed there by the artist for a purpose and for a reason. And that's why I like to listen to it all the way through.
I know exactly what you mean. Records used to be made like that. Not telling you, but you know this.
Yeah.
But records used to be made to where it was maybe more like a concert, like when you put on a concert.
Journey.
Yeah, you got to have ebb and flow, and you
Yeah.
don't want the same. And then at some point, probably in the late 90s, so albums began to be really more about the single, and so then you're just stacking all the best songs up front because people didn't have to flip over to the other side. But back then, you needed a good song to start and to finish each side, and that I always loved that, like Def Leppard, Hysteria, Gods of War. You flip it over, and Gods of War sounds like it could be the opening track on an album because it kind of is, Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe that's just the philosophy of record making, but I miss that because oftentimes it would be the radio song is the reason I would listen to the band. But after about 4 or 5 spins, I'm like, oh, I like the rest of the record better than the single.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be.
So you mentioned your birthday. So your birthday was just a couple weeks ago. So what was it like celebrating your birthday? By the way, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
how was it celebrating your birthday this year?
It's kind of strange, Tell you the truth, we had an amazing day. It was the only day that was in the 70s in Wisconsin for the entire year so far. I don't know what happened. It was like a miracle. It was like Miracle Day, and that was kind of amazing. It's such a strange time. The one good part of it for me is that it has been, when you want to, if the glass is half full or is the glass half empty, if you're looking at it in an optimistic way, it's kind of a forced slow down time for me. Now, the scary part is that you're slowing down. You can't work. There's no income, and I've got 12 employees and all of that. The good side of it is that you're forced to be home, and it makes you think about the things that matter, the things that you care about. And so I got to spend my birthday not on the road and not with tons of other fans, which is also awesome. But now I got to just hang out with my kids and my wife, and my drummer Jen came over, and my in-laws, and it was just like our little group of, 9 people, not over 10, 9 people. And in a certain way, I think it's kind of special. I don't know if that's cheesy or not, but sometimes when you're on the road, you're around so many people that to find that time to just be alone with the people you love, you kind of covet that time. And that was kind of nice.
It is kind of, I hear what you're saying exactly, because, you're constantly out there with the fans and, obviously in the theaters and on tour and, other bands and stuff like that. And every once in a while, you just kind of want to step back and take it all in and just be with a few people. And it's probably pretty nice for you this year.
Sure. Yeah, I think it was kind of interesting, and luckily we all get along really well. I guess it wouldn't be so good if we didn't, but I'm enjoying that time, getting to watch some films with my kids and read some books, and we get to talk about, what we're reading with the kids. And it's, that part of it has been really nice. But I do think that underneath, of course, is when is this going to change? What is it going to look like? But that's, for me also, I'm a very optimistic person. So on the optimist side, that is also a chance to get to teach my kids that you prepare the best you can in life, but there are no guarantees. Just when you think you got everything figured out, the coronavirus could hit, or a war could start, or an economic crisis. You don't control everything. That's vanity. That's what vanity looks like, and that's not something we can control. Those are good life lessons to have if I want to look at it from an optimistic point of view.
So just wrapping things up here before we cut you loose here, because I know you got a lot of other things going on today. But just give us like a little bit of where Skillet's at right now. Are you guys working on new material? I mean, you just put out your video game. I mean, of course, you got the song on WWE, Legendary and stuff. I mean, so tell us, give us a synopsis of what's going on right now as far as the band is concerned.
Right. I think I'm asking myself that. Where are we at, man? I don't really know. I mean, we do have a few songs that we had already recorded that didn't go on the album. And so I started thinking maybe we should look at releasing those songs. Everybody's locked up. Everybody wants something new to do. That could be maybe a cool thing to do. So we're discussing if we should do that. Should we package that with some other things to give to the fans? One thing that I thought it's cool to give to the fans for free is some of the unplugged stuff that we've done, which I think that you mentioned at the beginning of this. Taking some of the Skillet songs and playing them on acoustic guitar or piano is kind of quite fun. It gives people a different look, and that's something that costs the fans no money. All they got to do is check out our social media. That's an interesting thing as well. I've been spending some of my time, as you mentioned, I do a podcast for anybody that actually cares. It is called Cooper Stuff Podcast. That's my last name, Cooper. Cooper Stuff Podcast, and I talk about culture issues, social science, how it relates to religion and the way that I see the world, things like that. I've been spending a lot of time doing that, and I've just finished writing a book. I don't have a publisher, so I don't know when it's coming out, but I finished
Really?
it. Yeah, I finished my book, and it's just about talking about finding truth in a world that is very relativistic, and people are confused about what truth even is these days, and even if there is such thing as absolute truth. And so I talk about that. And so Skillet right now is a little bit on hold, except that we're trying to give the fans some music for free on social media. And maybe we're going to package some of the other songs together and find a way to get it out to the fans just to keep people not bored to tears.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy times, you know, it's unbelievable, but it's so great to see you. And continued success, and you know, one of the best in the business as far as I'm concerned, John. And thanks so much for the time.
Thank you, brother. It's so good to chat with you. Thanks for tweeting me about my record player. And,
it's so good to talk to somebody, by the way, in our own like kind of weather zone. I'm talking to, you know, Ellefson or whoever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's 85 in Scottsdale." I'm like, "Oh, come on, man, it's snowing here."
No, they don't know what it's all about, man. This is
well, Dave grew up not too far from where you are, so
yes,
you know he knows
it's
a little bit about
snowing. You know, just snowed like 3 days ago, right? You're like, come on. It's the only worst thing about lockdown is snowing in lockdown. Come on.
Right.
Man. Right. At least get in the backyard here. Anyway, it's good to see you too, man. Keep those workouts going to keep those guns up, baby.
Yeah, got to keep the guns going. So, hey, man, really great to see you. Wish our best to your family and the band and everything else. So,
I will, man. Likewise. And thanks for everybody for watching. We appreciate it.
All right, John, you take it easy. We'll talk to you soon.
Later.
See you, brother.
All right, brother.